right, everybody. Welcome to the Vanguard Fitness Hour live on the WDHR Digital Broadcasting Network. I am your producer, the super producer, as he calls me, Mr. Tronte Mario, a.k.a. DJ Interlude sometimes. We got the guru of fitness getting ready to jump in here, y'all, Mr. Mario Kuntz. All right. Y'all see him right there. As y'all know, I like to do this. We're going to let the music play for a few minutes, okay? Well, not a few minutes, but get a little break in there, you know. Get the move going. All right. All right, there it is, Mr. Mario Kuntz. Are you ready?
I am ready to go.
Well, no, you're not ready because you're muted right now. You didn't mute it.
Can you hear me now?
See, this is what happens in live production.
You got me? Can you hear my sound?
We become muted.
Can you hear my sound?
We do not hear nothing you're saying right now, Mario. Oh, I saw something move.
How about now?
Nope. Is your volume down? Because I see you registering, but I don't see anything going on from there.
No, I didn't make any adjustments to anything.
Oh, something's happening. Everyone bear with us.
How about now?
And see, we worked this out.
We did. Anything yet?
What did you do?
No changes were made.
Oh, I hear you. I see you registering all day. All right. So that's going on there.
Anything?
Let's see here. All right, say something.
How about now? Can you hear anything?
All right, there we go. We got you. All right, everybody, don't worry about it. You know, we do this quite often. Quite often. Don't worry about it. All
right. Just a technological hiccup. So I'm glad we're back on and everyone can hear me. And I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today. I know that you have choices when it comes to your entertainment time, and you chose to spend that time here at the Vanguard Fitness Hour. So I'm very appreciative of it and ready to share as much fitness knowledge as I can with you during our hour-long time span. So without further ado, I've got 20 pounds of fitness information, motivation, and inspiration to stuff into a 10-pound bag. So it's time to get started. First off, super producer has just recently embarked on a fitness journey, and I was more than honored to take part in it. So about a week and a half ago, Mr. Jasper, our super producer, came to me and said that, we do a show that is based on health and wellness and fitness, and I need to make some changes in my own life. Mm-hmm. What are some things that you would suggest? So he came to me, and I thought about it, and I said that, I'm going to make sure that you embark on this journey the right way, and you get the results that you're looking to accomplish. And this is going to be something that you're going to be successful in. So I did have a challenge. What I wanted to do, because I'm used to, when I work with clients, when I document their progress, everything is basically old school. It's paper and pencil. I document everything that my client does in the gym. Mm-hmm. I take that sheet and I insert it into a file. So I've got a full background on that individual's progress, so I can determine where changes need to be made, where we may need to make some adjustments, where setbacks were accomplished or reached, and that way I can tweak their fitness plan, their fitness regimen. I had never had anything that was digitized. So when super producer came to me and said that he wanted to do this, I realized I'm not going to be able to give him a paper copy because we're not in studio together because of the pandemic. So I've got to get a format that's going to be amenable to what he's looking to do. So I came up and I basically, this gave me the opportunity to really come up with a regimen. And this is a copy of it. Now you can't really see it too well, but I just wanted to show you this. This is a printout of it, but it is by far the most comprehensive workout log that I've ever put together. On this thing, I have documented, your days of week, the date. You've got your goals that are in there, and that can change obviously as your needs change. Your weight, the amount of time that you're sleeping, how many calories you've burnt during a workout, the amount of time that you spend exercising, any additional notations, all the exercises that you perform. I've got a column for your 1 rep max. I'll explain what that means at a later date. How much weight you're using, how many repetitions, how many sets you're completing, your cardiovascular exercises, your intensity level. So it's really by far the best work that I've done on that. And I use that to develop Mr. Super Producer's routine and regimen on that. So he's had it for just only a couple days, but I want to get his feedback on that and also ask what it was that gave you the desire to say that, you know what, I want to make some positive changes in my life in terms of health and wellness.
Well, first of all, that people do understand it is an absolutely amazing, chart. It definitely breaks down, in layman terms, and we were just kind of talking about that before we went live. But he definitely gave me an opportunity to truly understand what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. Embarking on this journey, for real. And I had a couple, two of my daughters look at me and say, something ain't right, Pops. Okay, you need to, the belly is out there. We gonna keep it real. We gonna keep it real. The wife said, "Look here, I need you to get a little sexy." Okay. You're too young to look like you've been tailgating. All right. So you have to take that into consideration and understand that this is definitely, the time to really get healthy. And another thing was, I was watching a video of myself playing basketball, and this was with my nephews. Okay, and it I still have it. I still have it. I can shoot. I ain't trying to run in on but moving around, I had a flashback of that, that teenager that was playing high school basketball and really, really having fun. And you can tell that, from 14 to 53, is definitely, there is a definite change. Okay. So, when the kids, come and say, it's time for you to go ahead and do something about this, when the wife comes to you and says, hey, we need to get it. We need to make something happen. I don't want anything to happen to you. You got to take it into consideration. So I definitely wanted something, that would be right up my alley. It's a little cardio in there. It's a little weight training in there, as well as, I love to do push-ups. So, we got the push-ups. We also have the planks in there as well. So definitely embarking on this journey was, had a lot to do with family. Really had a lot to do with family, immediate family, so that's where it is.
Good. Well, that's I appreciate you sharing that with myself. No greater motive than to want to do something for the benefit of your family. So I applaud you for that. And I know that you're going to be keeping us updated as the weeks go on and you continue on that fitness journey. So congratulations.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. Now, the thing I want to find out from you, Mario, is, do you want me, do you have access to the log? So that when I do.
Okay. When you plug it in, right? Yeah. So we can track. I can track progress that way.
Right, and then we should share that as well. Definitely share that so we can see the progress going on as well.
Absolutely, sounds good. Okay. All right. Well, having said that, I want to jump right into our next topic, and that is our Today in Fitness or Fitness News segment. I found a couple very interesting articles that pertain to today's topic, which is pandemic fitness. And the first one is, it came from, let's see, this is a study conducted by a Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology. So I don't want to beat you over the head with topics that are too heavy. But this is a very interesting one because it pertains to what we're talking about. If you have this common condition, you might be safe from COVID-19. Now, we've been told that there are factors that put you for increased risk of a severe battle with novel coronavirus. And those factors, typically your age, your weight, any pre-existing conditions that you might have, to name a few. But when it comes to factors that keep you safe from the deadly virus, there's something that you haven't known much about. However, according to new research published in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology, one surprising group may be less prone to contracting COVID-19. That group is people with asthma, and I found this to be very surprising. The survey was carried out by Israeli researchers who tested 37,469 patients, 6% of whom were positive for the virus. Among the infected group, 6.75% had asthma. However, among patients who were negative for the virus, 9.62% of them were asthmatic. As a result, the researchers concluded that there's a lower COVID-19 susceptibility in patients with pre-existing asthma. I'm going to inject for a moment. I actually have asthma. Now, as I've gotten older, I've basically grown out of it. I don't have episodes like I did when I was a child, but I was diagnosed as a child with asthma. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention statistics, that means the 7.7% of American adults and 7.5% of American children who have asthma may be somewhat protected from the virus. Given that COVID-19 most commonly attacks the lungs and the breathing system, these findings may be counterintuitive, which is exactly what I thought about. But there are a few possible explanations for this. According to researcher Eugene Merzan, who is a doctor at Tel Aviv University, speaking to the Jerusalem Post, he pointed out that asthmatics have lower levels of antigenocin converting enzyme number 2. These are different receptors that have to do with the breathing apparatus, which is a mechanism by which the novel coronavirus infects your cells. Secondly, asthmatics tend to make more lifestyle precautions that could help them to avoid contracting COVID-19 because they know that the impact of it may be more serious. And thirdly, the treatments patients routinely take for asthma, specifically inhaled corticosteroids, may also reduce their risk of catching the virus. So what we're talking about are the inhalers. Sometimes it's albuterol, sometimes it's Ceravent. There are different medications, but those are two of the most common. That being said, Merzan advised caution as the study only looked at hospital inpatients, people that are currently in the hospital. All these prevalence data were derived from COVID-19 inpatient population, the researchers wrote. Therefore, the prevalence of asthma may be different in outpatients that have COVID-19. So you want to take this data with caution. The research supports previous findings on asthma and coronavirus in studies cited by researchers with acute respiratory conditions like the 2003 SARS epidemic. So this is exciting news, actually. I mean, it's very interesting. Could people with asthma actually be protected from acquiring the virus? I found that to be very interesting. So that's the first one. The second one has to do with physical activity and avoiding inactivity or a sedentary lifestyle. It states in this article, sitting raises women's odds for heart failure. This story was, or research was conducted on November 24th of this month, just a few days ago. Too much sitting or lying down significantly increases older women's risk of hospitalization for heart failure, even if they get the recommended amounts of physical activity. The findings are consistent with other studies that confirm that people with more daily sedentary time, this is time when an individual is not doing anything, they're more likely to develop chronic health conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke, premature death from heart disease, and various other causes. The researchers analyzed data from nearly 81,000 postmenopausal women ages 50 to 79. Okay, so this isn't just some small study. We're talking about 81,000 participants. During an average follow-up of 9 years, just over 1,400 of the women were hospitalized due to heart failure. This is compared with women who spent less than 6.5 hours a day sitting or lying down. The risk of heart failure hospitalization was 15% higher in women who spent anywhere from 6.6 to 9.5 hours a day sitting or lying down. and 42% higher in women who spent more than 9.5 hours a day lying down. So to summarize this, even if you're getting an older adult is getting the right amount of exercise, which is not documented. I added this to the study, the report myself. It's recommended that old seniors participate in 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity a week. And you want to combine that activity with strength conditioning exercises, balance, flexibility movements, that sort of thing. That averages out to about 21.5 minutes a day. That's not a whole lot. So if you've got someone in your life that is an older woman, a mother, an aunt, sister, whatever the case might be, you want to encourage them to get off the couch, get moving. Even if they're exercising on a regular basis, you want to avoid those long periods of just sitting down and being sedentary. Break that time up. So if you're on the couch or seated for a while, get up, move around, do a little something. So in order to maintain that healthy heart, those healthy heart numbers that you're looking to achieve. So keep that in mind if you've got someone special in your life. Next, I get a lot of people asking about, well, what do you do when you're reading? How do you keep informed? What do you keep on your shelf, on your bookshelf, and that sort of thing? And I thought that was a very interesting question, and I wanted to address that today. The current book that I'm reading right now is called 10,000 Steps a Day for Your Optimal Weight. And I just started this book, but it's really interesting, and it talks about the health benefits of simply walking. And the goal is 10,000 steps. Now, I'm very intrigued by this because I've been in love with this fitness tracker that I purchased a couple months ago, and it monitors your amounts of steps and that sort of thing. So how can it help to decrease stress levels? How can it work to reduce blood pressure? Those sorts of things. So very interesting book. I will be happy to give you my feedback once I have completed it. The book is by a gentleman by the name of Greg Isaacs. So if you're looking for more information about that and my thoughts on it, feel free to shoot me an email or contact me on social media. I'd be more than happy to address that. Our topic for the day, we're talking about pandemic fitness. I don't have to tell you about how stressful things can be or how much our lives have changed now that coronavirus, COVID-19, novel 19 has come into play. It's changed all our lives, the way that we go about doing our daily business. So before we even get into exercising during the midst of a pandemic and staying fit, I want to take a little bit about to share with you what is the significance of becoming fit, especially during times like this. What I want you to be clear about is that fitness is not just being physically fit. Okay. Initially, when I first got into working out on a regular basis and exercising, all I thought about was the physical side of it. The body fat that's being burned, the muscle that's being gained, that sort of thing. But it's not just about that. It also refers to a person's mental state. If a person is physically fit, but they're mentally unwell, what happened or troubled, he or she is not going to be able to function optimally. You can be as physically fit as you want, but if you are stressed out and worried and you find it hard to focus, you're not going to be performing at your best. So the two really go hand in hand. So that's what I want to stress today. People who are physically fit are also healthier. They're able to maintain their optimal or ideal weight. They're less prone to debilitating health problems. And in order to maintain that relaxed state of mind, you need to be physically active. So these are all important factors, especially considering what we're going through nowadays. Okay. Some of the benefits of being physically fit. I'm just going to be blunt with it. You're going to save more money. Medical care is expensive. In fact, I just had a conversation before the show with my nephew. We were talking about health insurance. He's an entrepreneur, so we were just making having some chit chat about that. But the average 3-day hospital stay is about $30,000. If you're talking about cancer care, it can run into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So medical care is very expensive. Pharmaceuticals, the drugs, the medicines that you may need to take, very expensive. Okay, increased life expectancy. The fourth leading risk factor for global mortality is physical inactivity or sedentary lifestyle habits. It ranks right behind high blood pressure, tobacco use, high blood glucose, which is basically high blood sugar. Then we've got physical inactivity, and then fall behind that, number 5 is being in a state of overweight or obese categories. So those are your top 5. The interesting thing about all of them is, although some of them are hereditary, high blood pressure tends to be hereditary, high blood sugar tends to be hereditary, but they are all manageable and in some cases reversible and preventable through lifestyle changes. So let's take them one by one. High blood pressure, diet and exercise. That's one of the first things they tell you if you're diagnosed. Tobacco use, stop smoking. Cut and dry. High blood glucose, diet and exercise. Physical inactivity, get moving. That's the number 4 factor. Number 5, overweight or obese states. You need to increase your physical activity. You need to change your lifestyle habits. You need to eat better. So all of those have that in common. They're all manageable. Improved quality of life is another factor. Exercise has been shown to improve an individual's mood and mental health. And physical fitness can allow you to do things that you ordinarily might not be able to. So whether that's as simple as walking a flight of stairs or playing with a child at a park or going for a hike or riding a bike, these are all benefits that you're going to get from being physically fit. And when you're talking about mental state, I can't tell you about all the articles that I've read about individuals that are obese and they're on a plane getting ready to board a flight and they're charged an additional amount because they can't fit in the one seat. So they're charging them for 2. Or they can't get into the rides on a roller coaster at an amusement park. Or they can't fit comfortably into a movie theater seat. That has got to take a toll on an individual mentally. So being physically fit is going to provide numerous benefits. Chief among those is going to be mental health. When we're talking about individuals that perhaps suffer from a physical condition or ailment, let's take osteoarthritis, all right, of the knee. For each pound, and I work with the individuals with this condition quite often when I do physical therapy or exercise rehab therapy. Overweight or obese individuals, their knees hurt. For each pound of body weight that's lost, there's a 4-pound reduction in knee joint stress. So by losing that weight, even a pound, that's 4 pounds of pressure off the knees. That's going to help. You're going to be more comfortable. It's going to be better for you walking, and it's going to encourage you to want to do more. So there are definitely physical benefits to achieving physical fitness. People who are physically and mentally fit, they're simply better equipped to face the ups and downs that life throws at you all the time. And they're not as significantly impacted by drastic changes when they do occur. And what are we facing right now? Perhaps the greatest challenge, the most significant and drastic change that any of us have seen in our lifetimes. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Now, if we talk about specific groups, and I'm going to focus on the African American community in the city that is nearest to me, which is Chicago, Illinois. I'm going to throw out some numbers for you. I find them to be very interesting. Hopefully you will too. But pre-pandemic in Chicago, a white person on average lives 8.8 years longer than a black person. In the early stages of the pandemic, and I'm talking about February, March, April, we were told that those that had pre-existing conditions like asthma, other chronic lung disorders, diabetes, heart disease, they were more susceptible to the virus. As time went on, we started learning differently. There were people that were acquiring this virus that had no history of any of those things. In Chicago, African Americans were accounting at that time for about 68% of the city's then 118 deaths. Now we're talking early on, February, March. 52% of those, roughly at the time 5,000 confirmed cases, were accounted for, despite the fact that African Americans only make up 30% of the city's population. Now, these are not numbers that I'm just pulling out of thin air. This is data that was shared by the Chicago Department of Public Health. So these are real numbers, and they've been researched and confirmed. That means that African Americans were dying at a rate that's 6 times that of white Chicagoans. 6 times. Now, what is the reason for that? Now, I always look at environmental factors when I'm assessing a situation or a problem. There are external environmental factors, and there are internal environmental factors. Now, As far as external environmental factors, these are things that are really kind of beyond your control. They exist, they do, but just by making a determination or a change, I can't really alter that right away, right? So we're talking about decades of inequality, institutional racism, inadequate access to health care, those sorts of things. So that's there, and we have to deal with that, right? However, there are internal environmental factors. These are things that we do have control over. We're talking about diabetes rates for Black Chicagoans. It's double that of white individuals. The deaths that are related to lung disease are more than 20% higher among Blacks as compared to whites. Almost 2 in 5 African American adults have high blood pressure. That's a rate that's 25% greater than white individuals. African Americans are 20% more likely to die from heart disease than their white counterparts. Also, among non-Hispanic Blacks that are age 20 and over, 63% of men and 77% of women are overweight or obese. That is a huge number. And I'm not being sarcastic about that. That's a really big number. And then finally, improper nutrition. So these are all factors that are internal that we do have some control over. So we want to factor in the fact that, yes, we know that there are external factors that we can't really control, but what can I do to become a better person and to achieve my optimal level of health, even though we're in the midst of a pandemic? Now, to give you a quick update on some of those numbers, to date, Chicago has had about, and this is as of December 4th, about 3,504 confirmed coronavirus deaths. African Americans make up about 40% of those. 33% are made up by Latinos. Just 20.7 are individuals that are white Chicagoans. So these are some numbers that should stick with you and should have some impact and motivate you to want to do some things to make sure that you are living your best life. So what I'm encouraging you to do, what I'm imploring you to do, is to use shelter, use this situation to your advantage. This is an excellent time to pivot and shift and change your focus. Use shelter in place, even though there's not martial law. There's no one saying that if you go outside, you're going to be arrested or fined or anything like that. But for the most part, we're staying at home a lot more. So there are problems that are associated with that. But are they problems really, or are we just perceiving them to be problems? So one tactic or one point of interest or one topic is, we're not as active. Gyms are closed. Your group canceled. Maybe you were already exercising and now your group classes are canceled because of social distancing restrictions and that sort of thing. Going to and from work. You're used to walking to the train, to the bus stop. Maybe you are one of the unfortunate many individuals that are out there that lost their job. Maybe it was a physical job where you lifted equipment or tools or whatever the case might be. You carried things. You had to walk from one end of the plant to the other. You're not as physically active. So what can you do as a positive alternative to those things? Well, number one, if you are sheltering in place, you're at home, it's an excellent time to establish a habit of at-home workouts. There are a ton of resources out there for you to take advantage of. You can do things online. There are television shows that feature exercise routines. There are DVDs or Blu-ray discs or whatever that feature that sort of thing. If you want to reach out to me, I'd be more than happy to put together a program for you. So those are some options that you can take advantage of. Use technology. If you're a social person and you miss being with your buddy, your partner, whatever the case might be in terms of working out, use technology to work out with your friends. So, Zoom doesn't have to be for, and that's just one platform, but that doesn't have to be for professional meetings. You can use those to form your own group class if you wanted to. Cardiovascular activity, that can be performed in a relatively small space. You don't need to have a big gym or be out in the lot, a big park or anything like that in order to perform that. You don't need to have a lot of space. You can still get cardiovascular activity in. Your favorite restaurant or your bar might be shut down, okay? Reduced hours. Maybe they're not open to the time that you're used to. This is a perfect time to start preparing your own meals. Even if you don't cook, can you read and follow a recipe? Have at it. Give it a shot. In terms of beverages, make your own healthy beverages at home. There's a lot of recipes out there and resources that you can take advantage of. So just because your favorite restaurant or dining spot isn't open doesn't mean that it's going to has to restrict you or keep you from being healthy. Boredom. You've got excessive time on your hands, okay? Because just the things that you like to do, and I'm affected by this as well, the things that I like to do just aren't available. There aren't any concerts. There weren't any festivals this year. The art galleries I like to go to, they're not around. Museums are closed. In a lot of cases, public areas like forest preserves or park districts are shut down. So what can you do in place of that? You can break up boredom by engaging in healthy activities. And those healthy activities can be, there's no limit. I mean, you can imagine whatever it is that you find to be interesting that's going to be healthy for you, that's going to give you that activity level, that's going to help you to become a better you. Take part in it. There aren't any restrictions. Even if you have a backyard, run laps around your backyard, whatever the case might be. So now's the time to be creative and come up with some things that are going to help you to achieve whatever your fitness goal is. So getting started, how do you do that? That's always the question. The first step that I would recommend by far is to determine your why. And I've talked about this several times. If you don't have a why, you're not going to be successful, or your chances of success are going to be greatly limited. What's your why? Why are you doing this? Is this in order to achieve overall health? Are you recovering from an injury? Is it vanity? Maybe you just like the compliments that you get or the way you look in a certain outfit. Are you preparing for a special event? Is it revenge? Maybe you got dumped by your girlfriend and you say, I'm going to lose this weight, look toned up, get a six pack. I'm going to strut myself in front of her place where she lives or works or whatever the case might be. I don't care. There's no bad reasons, but you need to find a why, something that's going to keep you focused and motivated, particularly when things get tough, when you're really sore and you just don't feel like getting that workout in. You got to find something that's going to keep you going. Step number 2, you want to determine or set up mental cues that are going to help you to maintain focus. Examples of this, maybe you want to stick some notes on your refrigerator or your mirror. Okay? Maybe it's an old photo of you when you were 15, 20 pounds lighter. Maybe there are alerts that you set up on your cell phone reminding you, okay, it's time to have that glass of water or have that healthy snack or start your workout. Maybe it's an image of someone whose physique represents your goal. So you know of someone that, this can be someone that's a celebrity, it can be a common person, but maybe they have a physique that represents how you would like to look. Now be realistic about it, okay? If you're setting a goal, well, I want to look like The Rock, but you have a physique that's more like Cedric the Entertainer, no shade to Cedric the Entertainer, that might be a little unrealistic. So make sure that your goal is attainable and it makes sense for you, okay? Focus on nutrition. That's the biggest stumbling block to most individuals, okay? You've got to make sure you're changing those eating habits. Start with incremental changes, all right? You don't have to make take the giant steps and change everything 100%. Just start by making small changes. A few more vegetables, a little more water, whatever the case might be, that's going to help you to achieve that goal, but it's not so drastic that you just fall off because it's just too much, it's too stressful for you. Portion control. When you order meals, get in the habit of just little things. Like I always make sure that I'm taking home leftovers. So that way I'm not consuming that entire meal at one time. Don't overload your plate. If your plate is here and you've got food piled up to here, that's not the way to go. Okay, portion control. Pay attention to yourself when you start to feel that feeling of being satisfied. You're full. That's the time to cut it off. There's no need to stuff yourself unless you're in prison and they got you. You got a time limit when you got to consume your meal or whatever the case might be. Hydration is going to be vitally important for women. 9 glasses, and that's 8-ounce glasses per day. For men, it's 13. Making sure that you're consuming that water. And water intake is going to help you in a lot of different areas. Number one, the body needs it because we're composed primarily of water. And number 2, it's going to give you that feeling of fullness. So you're able to resist that urge to overeat. You don't feel as hungry. You want to hydrate yourself throughout the day.
Murray, let me jump in there real quick.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so for men, you're saying it's going to be 13 glasses.
8-ounce glasses of water, correct?
Okay. That I didn't know. I didn't know that. So I thought that it was for everyone it was a total of 8.
8 is the most, and you're not wrong. That's been the common thinking and what we've been told for years and years.
Exactly.
But that is based on old data.
Okay.
I'm glad you brought that up. More recently, it has been determined that the actual amount for 8-ounce glasses of water, again, is 9 for women, 13 for men. That's not that daunting a task. It's not that difficult to take in that amount of water.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. Not at all. Because normally I'm doing about maybe a half to a gallon a day, because I have the 5 gallon thing, so I'm doing like maybe close to a gallon of water a day. So that's close to 13.
Yes.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Well, okay. He's typing, people. He's going to make sure I'm on the right track here.
All right. There we go. I'm just responding to a question that came up on our comment board.
Oh, good.
All right. Next. During this pandemic, it is vitally important to get proper rest. And what happens is, because things are so stressful, if you're watching the news, you watch CNN or CNBC or whatever, and Texas, for example, they got food lines that stretch for miles. I mean, it almost looks like we're in a third world country. So people are stressed out. I've lost my job. I'm on the verge of losing my job because hours have been cut, business is down, that sort of thing. I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills. What if my elderly parent gets sick? I'm having to homeschool a child. I know nothing about homeschooling. So there's a lot of stressful events that are taking place right now, and we have to adjust to that. Usually the first thing that is sacrificed is our rest, because when you're stressed out, a lot of times you don't sleep. It's hard to wind down. You need to focus on trying to overcome that through relaxation methods, through stress relieving tactics, whatever you have to do. For adults, 7 to 9 hours per night is optimal. For toddlers, now we're including toddlers because a lot of times if we're stressed out, a lot of times our kids feel that and they take on those habits. Toddlers, around 12 hours per night. Children, ages 3 to 6, the goal is 10 to 12 hours per night.
All right, people, understand that. Those little brats between 3 and 6, you need to put them in the bed no later than 7 o'clock.
They need to be in bed. And what researchers are finding out is that bedtime has been replaced by screen time. Screen time, either televisions, computers, cell phones, or games, gaming systems and that sort of thing. And those sleep habits have been disrupted by those types of devices. So you need to make sure that not just you, but your children are getting adequate amounts of sleep. For children ages 7 to 12, 10 to 11 hours per night. And for teenagers, 8 to 9 hours per night. Sleep is vitally important. Don't overlook it. In fact, we're going to do a broadcast on that very topic in the future. You want to work to develop a regular routine. So what do I mean by that? Same time of day each day, or whatever workout days you pick. So you need to do your best. If you're going to be working out at 6 a.m., try to keep that consistency. If it's 6:30 at night, try to keep that consistency. When you get to the point where you make a determination that, I work out when I get time, it usually doesn't happen. And when it does, it's going to be very sporadic. It's going to be hard to maintain because life gets in the way. You got chores, you got other things going on, you got family concerns, you got responsibilities at work, whatever the case might be. Try to set that time, block it aside, and make sure that it is yours and it's consistent. You want to determine how your workout is going to be structured. That's where those workout logs, like I developed, is going to be helpful, because I've got on there, these are the exercises I need to perform on these days. So it's highly structured. You're not going into your workout setting haphazardly and just, I think I'll do this today, I'll do that today. You have some structure in front of you. Visualize your workout in advance. I like to play mind games with myself. Before I actually set foot in my workout space, I think about what it's going to look like as I'm working out, as I'm exercising, as I'm lifting that weight, as I'm performing that cardiovascular routine, whatever the case might be. I'm thinking about my workout, and that helps me to perform once I'm in the gym. Keep in mind that even though you're setting these times aside for yourself, on average, it takes about 66 days before behavior turns into a habit. Okay. For years, we've been told it's 30 days. That's not the case. It's 66 days. And this has been backed by research study after research study. You do that consistently enough, then it becomes a habit. And then it's just, you're on autopilot at that point. Track your progress, whether it's a notebook or a workout log like I have, or some spreadsheet that you have. Keep track of your progress, because if you don't know where you've been, you're not going to know where you're going. So you want to track that progress so you can go back, make changes, make adjustments, see what's working, see what's not working. All that's going to benefit you in the long run. And by all means, be patient. If you're working out because you're trying to lose weight, just keep in mind that, it may have taken you 3 years to gain those 30 pounds, and you're trying to lose it in 30 days. It's not going to happen. So just break it down incrementally, be patient, realize that there are going to be some ups and downs, but if you stay the path, you're going to be all right. You're going to achieve that goal. All right. Now, when we're actually talking about exercising, you want to determine what your goal is. So if the goal is to establish a full body cardio-based routine, you want to establish or choose exercises that are designed to increase your heart rate. Things like jumping jacks or jogging in place or jump rope, whether it be actual or simulated. Well, an actual jump rope, you really got a rope. A simulated jump rope, you're just mimicking the activity of jump rope. So that's what that means. If your goal is to focus on strength training, you want to choose resistance-based exercises, things like dumbbell chest presses or leg presses, that sort of thing. If your goal is a mix of both, you want to select a combination of exercises that you can do that allow you to perform both, like a squat press or a burpee or lunge curls or spider push-ups. And we're going to break down what all these different exercises mean going forward. But that's just a way that you can take a look at structuring your own personal workout plan. My suggestion, select 4 exercises if you're just starting out, just 4. You want to choose exercises that are aligned with your workout focus. So if your goal is a full body workout, things like squats, push-ups, jumping jacks, sit-ups, these are all exercises that require multiple muscle groups to interact together in order to perform them properly. If your goal is a lower body workout, you want to choose exercises like, again, squats, lunges, bridges, weighted deadlifts, things like that. If it's an upper body goal, push-ups, because that's going to target the chest, the deltoids, bent over rows, shoulder presses, tricep dips. These are all different exercises you can use in there. For core workout, that's probably the most common I get. I want to work on my abs, I want a six-pack, that sort of thing. Sit-ups are great. Crunches, leg lifts, wood chops, oblique twists. So there's just a slew of exercise that you can do for that. And then if it's cardio based, again, things like jumping jacks or high knees, mountain climbers, burpees, all these are going to establish that cardiovascular enhancement role. Choose a time limit for yourself. 30 to 60 minutes is more than enough time to get it all done. I talk to people all the time. Oh man, I'm all worn out, tired, but I feel good. I was just in the gym for 2 hours. 2 hours, if you're in the gym that long, you're either doing too much or you're wasting time. And I see it all the time when I'm in a gym setting. Someone will do a set, and then they're relaxing or talking on the phone or snapping selfies or having conversations or looking at the monitors for 5, 6, 7 minutes, and then they go back and do another set. That's time wasted. You want to be efficient with your workouts. That way you're going to get the full benefit out of it. Incorporate short rest periods and water breaks into your routine. Make sure you're hydrated properly. Make sure you've got it handy. Short rest periods anywhere from 60 to 1 minute to 2 minutes is more than enough time to rest in between a set. Use some sort of a timer, whether it be a kitchen timer or a cell phone, or you got a watch that you can set a timer on to help to keep you focused. Again, you want to be efficient with your time when you're working out. A good strategy that I use is actually a game almost, and it's called card deck training. And I want to show you how it works, a real quick exercise. So I just take a regular old deck of cards like this one, right? And in that deck, what I'm going to do is assign different muscle group activities or exercises to different card suits. So for example, I'm going to choose a full body workout. So this is my full body workout day. So my exercises, again, we're going to choose 4. The first, I'm going to choose squats. The second exercise is going to be push-ups. The next one is going to be jump rope. And then maybe the fourth one will say crunches, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shuffle my deck, get all my cards all mixed up and that sort of thing. And I'm going to assign suits to different movements. So in this case, I'll say a squat will be a diamond. Push-ups will be associated with hearts. Jump rope, spades, and then crunches will be clubs. So I'm going to shuffle my deck, mix them up. I pull a card, and you can do this solo. You can do it with a partner, whatever the case might be. Let's say I pull this card, which is the 7 of clubs. So that means I'm going to perform 7 crunches because the suit that's associated with clubs is crunches. And I continue to do that. Now, as I'm performing those exercises and I'm pulling my cards, I'm incorporating my rest period. What I want to do is I'm going to set a time limit for it. So I'm going to play this for 30 minutes, or I'm going to do this for 45 minutes or whatever. It's a very simple way to get some good exercise in. You don't need any equipment other than a deck of cards. You can pick this up at the dollar store for $1 probably. So it's a really interesting way to get exercise in. If you do want the full set of instructions on card deck training, drop me an email as soon as you can. I will make sure you get that sent out to you because I love it and I think you'll enjoy it also. Next up, how do you avoid the dreaded quarantine 15? All right, I've been hearing so much about this. We're talking now about the role of good nutrition. All right, and we've heard so many people, oh, I've been sheltering in place and I've been eating in place too. I've been picking up weight left and right, but we get to a certain point of acceptance because you hear about it all the time. People are talking about, I've picked up weight. You've got friends that have gained weight during this time period. That doesn't have to be you. You can do things that are going to help you to avoid that. Reverse it and get back to where you need to be, and then start from there and continue on your fitness journey. Research shows that stress will alter your overall food intake, and that results in either undereating, overeating, and that may be influenced by stressors in your life. The role of comfort foods, that's a big one. So, fats and sugars and high carb foods, they help to calm us during stressful events. And that's why people say, well, I'm a stress eater. So when I'm stressed out, I like to have that donut. I like to have that ice cream. I like to have a milkshake. I like to go for a burger. It makes me feel good because I'm all stressed out because of this pandemic. You want to avoid that. So you want to develop a plan. So even if it's a snack plan, let's start with that. You want to pick a snack that's going to be healthy. I don't have to beat you over the head or tell you how important it is to eat vegetables. All right. That's a healthy choice all the time, going with veggies, and you can go nuts. Pick whatever vegetables you happen to like, any combination of those, and use that as your snack. It's a great way to go. It's always going to be a safe and healthy alternative. Try not to graze, especially during this time. The key to keeping your weight down is to keep food off of your home or office desk. A lot of people are working from home now, and it's very convenient to have, all the fixings sitting right by you, things that you ordinarily wouldn't do if you were in a work setting. So you want to keep that in mind also. Don't choose that nightcap. You want to avoid drinking alcohol, even though you're stressed out, because alcohol can help to calm our nerves and that sort of thing. However, if you do drink, keep it moderated. One drink is better than 2. Okay, so you want to make sure you're cognizant of that. And then, of course, you want to exercise either before, during, or after work. Research has shown that it is more productive at work at work and to keep those pounds off. So you want to make sure that you're getting that exercise activity in. And then finally, exercise or fitness as a family. Make it a family affair. Okay, involve your partner, your spouse, your children in your fitness endeavors. Get the kids to join in. Challenge each other. Maybe dad is stronger, but maybe mama's better at performing cardiovascular exercises. The children might be more flexible. So everyone can have their little niche, and you can play off of that and make it fun and interesting for the whole family. Next up, you want to avoid coronavirus fitness scams. There's a lot of them out there. We got extreme discounts on normally high-priced items. Usually, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So beware of that stuff. Online classes that require high deposit fees, you want to watch out for those. And then weight loss promises that promise to deliver you these miraculous results. It's usually a lot of garbage. It's usually not safe, and these folks are just looking to take advantage of you. good example, thing that you want to look out for. If you see any results that just sound like they're just way too good to be true, in this case, you're going to lose 10 to 20 pounds without dieting in 6 days. That's usually an indication that this is not something that is going to be beneficial for you. So those are my tips for pandemic fitness. And right now I want to move into our exercise of the week. And the exercise that I've chosen for today has to do with our core. We're going to be working our abdominals today, and we're going to be using a movement called the thigh slide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up from my regular spot, and I'm going to load myself up onto this table. Hopefully you still have a good view of me. Super producer, can you see me? Am I still in focus?
No, you actually went to the star north of us. You're in focus.
You know what? If you don't stop, you're gonna take the title back. You're gonna be a subpar producer.
Subpar producer. No, you know I got to make some jokes here, man. We can't be stuffy all the time. But no, you're in focus.
All right, here we go. So the thigh slide or thigh slide crunch. I'm going to start from a supine position, which basically means I'm laying on my back. I'm going to extend my arms so that the palms are flush against the thighs. My feet can either be angled up with the heels down, toes up, or they can be flat. What I want to do is to engage my core by raising my shoulders off of the surface. From here, I'm going to extend going upwards until my palms extend over the knees. I want to exhale or breathe out as I'm coming up. I want to inhale as I'm going down. This exercise is going to target the rectus abdominis, which are basically your six-pack muscles, as well as your lumbar spine, your lower back muscles. Nice and smooth with these. Thigh slide. Now, one of the things I want to make sure that you're doing with these is don't allow the shoulders to come completely flat along the surface until you're done with your set. This is a great introductory exercise. We're working the core. Give it a shot. Thigh slide crunches. So this is our second exercise that we've talked about. Last week it was the crucifix curl. If you missed that, go back and watch the previous show.
How many reps would you say, Mario, for that?
I'm sorry, say again?
How many reps would you say for that?
It depends on the individual. I would say start moderate. Okay, if you've never done abdominal exercises, see if you can do 2 or 3. Okay, if it's easy for you, ramp it up. Try 10. Okay, so the idea is constant improvement and progression. Don't be so concerned about the repetition. Be more concerned about the form, making sure that you're performing the exercise right. Okay, good form beats sloppy form every day of the week.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When it comes to pandemic fitness, creativity is key. So maybe I don't have exercise equipment. So what can I do in place of that? There's a lot of things that you can do. Some people talk about using cans for weights and that sort of thing. Good example, let's say maybe I don't have any heavy weights, but maybe I've got a water service. Maybe Hinckley & Schmidt delivers water to me. This is just a regular old water jug. It's completely filled, and filled it weighs about 45 pounds. I can use this to perform plie squats. So I'm going to extend this down, holding this 45-pound jug. I'm going to drop down. I'm targeting my quadriceps, my hamstrings, my glutes. My core is engaged. I'm just holding a water bottle. I'm extending down. I'm not allowing the knees to completely lock out. And I'm performing my exercises. So you can get as creative as you want when it comes to physical fitness. And I encourage you to do so. All right. We talked about a lot of topics, and I want to include something new that I want to share with our audience. That is our weekly challenge. And I'm going to start really moderate this week. All I want you to do for your weekly fitness challenge, and I want to get feedback from you as you go through this. Next week, I'd like to hear about what you did. For your your weekly change is to make one positive change to benefit your health. What's an example of that? Again, if you start moderate, if you're a soda drinker, as opposed to maybe drink one less soda. Maybe you like Pepsi and you used to drink it 3 a day. Cut it down to 2. Replace one fast food meal with a home cooked meal. That might be something that you could do. If you smoke 5 cigarettes a day, try to cut it down to 3. Get 1 additional hour of sleep. I don't care what it is. Pick something in your life that you can improve. During this next week, I want you to try it out. Come back. Let's find out how you did with it. We'll review. But I want you to make one positive change that's going to benefit you in the long run. And again, it doesn't have to be monumental. Incremental changes in most cases are best. So give that a shot. I want to hear from you and how you did with it. Now, as I promised last week, we had a giveaway item that is from my company, Vanguard Exercise Management. It is a fitness tracker. And I said that individuals that signed up for either my Instagram page or my Facebook page, I was going to select at random a winner for this fitness tracker. So I'm going to ask the help of my super producer, Mr. Transay Jasper, if you could give me a number, let's say between 1 and 10. I'm going to use that to select the winner of today's prize, which is a fitness digital tracker.
8.
All right, super producer has selected number 8. Mr. Lavory Wilder, you are the winner of this fitness tracker. I'm going to be contacting you. You are a new Facebook page liker. I'm going to be contacting you so I can get your contact information. The one thing that I ask is that you take a photo with it and submit it to us at our Facebook page. So congratulations, Mr. Lavory Wilder. Excellent job. And we're glad to have you.
Lavory.
Yes.
Yeah. So we weren't supposed to say that.
Hey, first show, what did we say? We said transparency, right?
Right, transparency.
We don't hide anything from our audience.
Table, y'all. Don't worry
our
about it.
Our audience is part of our family. We don't keep anything from them.
Exactly. It's going to be under the table. Don't worry about it.
All right. So having said that, hopefully you got something out of the content that we shared during today's episode. I really enjoyed sharing that information with you. My thanks to super producer, Mr. Transay Jasper, for participating. And again, we all want to encourage him on his fitness journey. I know he's going to be successful because he is motivated, he is inspired, and he's got his why fully established. So I'm looking forward to the progress that he's going to be making. I'm going to be right there with him. And I would like to be right there. Oh, you're more than welcome. And I want to be right there with each and every one of you. If you have any fitness questions, anything about health or injury recovery or weight loss or nutrition, whatever the case might be, feel free to contact me. My information is posted up. It should be, I've got my email address. Do we have that access to that information?
No, go ahead. Give me that email address. I'll put it right up in here right now.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. You want me to type it in or should I just say it?
Just say it real quick.
Okay. It's Vanguard, V as in Victor, A as in Apple, N as in New, G as in George, U as in Umbrella, A as in Apple, R as in Robert, D as in David, MGT, that's Mark George Thomas at yahoo.com. Send me an email, and again, I would be happy, and let me know what it is that your goal is. I'd be more than happy to work with you and get you the tools that you need in order to be successful, whether that be a conversation or documentation, or if you prefer to take the next step and go through a comprehensive health and screening fitness assessment, or regular workouts via social media or a video platform. So we can definitely make that happen. I want each and every one of you to be your healthiest version of yourself. So having said that, make sure you're tuning in next week, because for our next episode, our topic is going to be basically the Vanguard motto, which is eat clean, train hard, and stay focused. What does it mean, and how can you include this mantra into your everyday life? I'm going to talk to you about it, and hopefully you're going to get something that's going to help you to benefit in yourself and keep your focus, because that's why you're here. You're not so looking forward to seeing you again next week. I appreciate it, each and every one of you. And until next time, remember the Vanguard motto: train hard, eat clean, stay focused, mask up. Remember to wear your masks. Keep those hands clean and sanitized. Practice social distancing. Be smart about it. This disease, this virus is no joke. And I want to see you back here healthy 1 week from today. Take care, everybody.
All right, you guys. That was the Vanguard Fitness Hour. Live with Mr. Mario Kuntz. I am your producer.
Super producer,
Mr. Tronce Mario. Definitely, as he said, people, stay masked up. This is no joke out here. We want you all to come join us next week as well. Again, from our WDHR Digital Radio Broadcasting Network, we just want to say thank you for participating. Mario, you're totally awesome. We've got a lot more coming. People, get ready for it. This is more than just radio. This is more than just music. It's more than just DJing. This is how we are actually going to be communicating as we start to diminish from this pandemic and move forward. So we want to be the ones to set the trend and make sure that you guys understand you're always welcome here. All right? Once again, peace.
Peace.